Nature and significance of political theory. As human beings, we live in society. Society includes many institutions like family, school, religious organization, polity, etc. Every institution serves some specific purpose. It involves some organization and use of authority. Authority implies a relationship of command and obedience, where the command is generally regarded to be reasonable. Mild protest, if any, would not upset the authority. Nature of political theory. What is political? When an organization is designed to regulate the whole community, it takes the character of polity. Polity therefore denotes an organization where rules are made and decisions are taken for the whole community, and authority is exercised over each member of the community. The term political refers to something related to a polity that is public, as distinguished from private, or something applicable to a limited number of persons. Sheldon S. Wallen, in his Politics and Vision 1960, has beautifully summed up the characteristics of the political as follows. Of all the authoritative institutions in society, the political arrangement has been singled out as uniquely concerned with what is common to the whole community. Certain functions, such as national defense, internal order, the dispensing of justice, and economic regulation, have been declared the primary responsibility of political institutions, largely on the grounds that the interest and ends served by these functions were beneficial to all of the members of the community. The, the state is an essential component of polity which enjoys a unique position among social institutions. It is so important that Aristotle, ancient Greek philosopher, described man by nature a political animal. Living in a state was so natural for a person that he who lived outside the state or who did not need a state was either a beast or an angel. The terms polity, politics, and political are derived from the Greek word polis, which stood for ancient Greek city state. The Greek city states were relatively small communities which were separated from each other by geographical barriers like forests, mountains, and seas. Each city state had evolved a compact social life and culture where all institutions and activities were knit together. These institutions and activities, which were aimed at securing good life for the community, were regarded to be the part of politics. However, in the present day society, the scope of politics is not regarded to be so comprehensive. Today, we draw a distinction between public and private affairs of human life and confine the usage of the term politics to the institutions and activities falling in the public domain. Thus, the decisions of cabinet and parliament, election campaigns, and other activities of political parties, people's movements seeking change in law and public policy, etc., belong to politics, but the object of our faith and worship, the content of our education, art, and culture, etc., do not properly belong to the sphere of politics until some regulation thereof is required to maintain public order and safety. Scope of political theory. After identifying the nature and scope of the political, we are now ready to understand the nature of political theory. The term theory stands for a systematic knowledge. Thus, political theory refers to a systematic knowledge of political phenomena. What type of knowledge do we require about the political phenomena in the realm of political theory? Broadly speaking, political theory is concerned with three types of statements: empirical statements, which is based on observation through sense experience alone, that is, the experience gained through sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch of the concrete phenomena. Logical statement, which is based on reasoning, example 2 plus 2 is 4, and 3 evaluative statement, which is based on value judgment, example men are born free and equal. Political science, as distinguished from political philosophy, relies only on empirical and logical statements. It is argued that correct observation and correct reasoning by different persons would lead to the similar conclusion. Hence, empirical and logical statements are capable of verification. On the other hand, it is alleged that evaluative statements are based on individual or group preferences which differ from individual to individual or group to group. There is no reliable method of determining what is right or wrong, good or bad. One cannot scientifically discover the purpose of the universe or human life. Champions of positivism sought to build political science and other social sciences, example sociology, economics, history, etc., on the foundations or the methodology of natural sciences. Example physics, chemistry, biology, etc. Then the exponents of logical positivism argue that evaluative statements have no empirical content or logical structure. They are the expressions of subjective reflection or emotional preference. Likewise, champions of scientific method for the study of politics insist on a value-free or value-neutral approach. So, let's take the definition of political philosophy. Political philosophy refers to a branch of learning which is primarily concerned with moral and substantive dimensions of politics. Its central problems include the pursuit of good life, questions pertaining to norms and values, good and evil, virtue and vice, means and ends, right and wrong, and visions of an ideal state and society. Political philosophy requires into the foundations of political life, grounds of political obligation, and moral worthiness of different political systems. It makes use of philosophical and historical method in determining the goals of public life. A major part of political philosophy coincides with moral and social philosophy. Let's take the definition of positivism. Positivism refers to the view that relies on scientific method as the only source of true knowledge. It rejects superstition, religion, and metaphysics as pre-scientific forms of thought. It holds that all knowledge is ultimately based on sense experience, that is, the experience gained through sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Hence, the method used in the new natural sciences, example physics, chemistry, biology, etc., must be adopted for any genuine inquiry in the field of social sciences. Now, the definition of logical positivism. Logical positivism refers to a school of thought founded by German sociologist Max Weber and the members of Vienna Circle, Moritz Schlick, Ludwig Wittgenstein, A.J. Ayer, etc. In the early decades of the 20th century, it holds that reliable and valid knowledge in any field of inquiry can be obtained only by empirical method, that is, the observation based on sense experience. The questions concerning values are beyond the scope of scientific knowledge, hence, it is not possible to obtain reliable knowledge about them. So, coming back to the book, in any case, political theory cannot be confined to the so called scientific knowledge. It is equally concerned with determining values which come within the purview of political philosophy. We cannot accept the view that values are based on individual or group preferences. On the contrary, values do have a sound logical structure unless we mistake them for biased statements. Upholders of different values can be invited to have a dialogue, to have an opportunity to understand each other's point of view, to convince each other, and probably to agree on certain universal principles to judge the validity of values. Determination of values is the basis of a sound public policy or decision. If we abdicate this responsibility, it may fall in irresponsible hands with disastrous consequences. Hence, political theory must comprehend both political science and political philosophy. Dwelling on the nature of political theory, George Catlin, Political Quarterly, March 1957, significantly observed the theory of politics itself is divided into political science and political philosophy, pleading for combining the study of political science with sociology. Catlin asserted it is a supreme virtue of the fusion of sociology and political science that it could enable us to be sharp eyed for the phenomena of control in its many forms overall the processes of the whole social field. Then, defining the scope of political philosophy, Catlin explained our concern here is with the kingdom of ends or final values. So soon as a man begins to ask what is for the national good or what is a good society, he is asking questions in philosophy. In short, Catlin proceeds to identify the nature of political theory by pointing to its two important components, political science and political philosophy. As he has suggested, political science deals with the facts of political life, that is, what is the real situation and which laws govern our actual behavior. While political philosophy is concerned with values, that is, what is right or good for us. Andrew Hacker, Political Theory, Philosophy, Ideology, Science, 1961, also dwells on these two major components of political theory, but he introduces some new factors to elaborate the issue. Hacker writes, every political scientist plays a double role. He is part scientist and part philosopher. No theorist can make a lasting contribution to human knowledge unless he works in the realms of both science and philosophy. The scientific part of a theory can only achieve coherence and significance if the writer has a preconceived idea or the goals of political life. Commenting on the role of political science, Hacker observes the theorist whose pursuit is political science is interested in describing and explaining the realities of political behavior. He attempts to draw up generalized propositions about the actual relations between states and citizens and about the role of power in society. About the role of political philosophy, he comments the theorist whose interest is in writing political philosophy, on the other hand, is concerned with prescribing the goal which citizens prescribing the roles. Commenting on the role of political science, Hacker observes the theorist whose pursuit is political science is interested in describing and explaining the realities of political behavior. He attempts to draw up generalized propositions about the actual relations between states and citizens and about the role of power in society. About the role of political philosophy, he comments the theorist whose interest is in writing political philosophy, on the other hand, is concerned with prescribing the goals which citizens, states, and societies ought to pursue. His aim is to generalize about right conduct in the political life and about the legitimate uses of power. Adequate knowledge of political science is essential for a sound political philosophy. As Hacker points out, the philosophical part of a theory must be informed by a profound understanding of the fact of political life. The best political philosophers have always been well aware of the existing realities. They have given intense and systematic study to the needs and capabilities of man and society. Fuller scope of political theory may be understood with reference to its focus and its method of study. One point of its focus is the study of political concepts and ideas. For this purpose, normative philosophical method is regarded to be suitable. Another point of its focus is the study of political institutions and behavior. For this purpose, descriptive scientific method is regarded quite suitable. It is necessary that each problem of political theory should be studied by the proper method. In practice, political decisions usually entail a mixture of empirical and moral judgments. In politics, refusing to decide is simply deciding to allow others to decide for you. Robert Dahl, Modern Political Analysis, 1977. Scope of political theory. Political theory, the focus of study is political concepts and ideas, political institutions and behavior, and the method of study is descriptive scientific method and normative philosophical method. So, scientific method refers to the method of study which focuses on the observation of facts through sense experience, that is, the experience obtained through sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, inquires into their relationship and the laws governing this relationship. Its purpose is to obtain reliable knowledge about facts and give explanation of events. The use of scientific method in the study of politics is an essential feature of political science. Normative method refers to the method of study which seeks to determine as to what we ought to do. It is the arena of reflection on our values and ideals. It is concerned with the judgment of good and evil, right and wrong. While agreement on certain principles on these issues is possible, nobody can claim to have a final word in this behalf. Each party is expected to advance sound arguments to substantiate its stand. Philosophical method. Philosophical method refers to the method of study which seeks to construct basic concepts in order to solve the riddles of the universe and human society. It raises certain basic questions and inquires as to which of the phenomena are capable of observation and which of them are beyond our observation by sense experience. In order to understand the things beyond our observation, we try to build a system of thought based on logic and determine as to what type of knowledge would be reliable and what type of knowledge would not be reliable. The knowledge obtained by normative method is also duly recognized under the philosophical method. A combination of normative and philosophical method in the study of politics gives rise to political philosophy.